Hey, it's Uncle Joe with Uncle Joe Hikes. We're up here on Darnell Creek Road. We just came by the shooting range over there. Going up a little bit further to this trail here. That trail goes up to the Bartram, and we can summit Rabun Bald. This is basically an alternative. It would be a little tough getting up here in anything but a four-wheel drive, only because around a couple of turns back, there's some pretty gnarly stuff you got to get over. But most of it's pretty easy to get over. You know, it's just a forest road, and they've done some clearing on it, so that's good to see. But we're going to take this trail here. I don't think it has a name. I'm going to call it the Saltrock Gap Trail because that's where it goes, the Saltrock Gap. Anyway, let's go check this out as an alternative for summiting Rabun Bald. You can just see a water cascade there, and all the way up this section here, we can hear the creek. We can see a washed out section here. Water's been coming down through here. We're up here on the side slope, and we have some ice. I'm breathing a little bit because it's a little bit of a climb getting up here, but yeah, there's some ice right there, some freeze thaw you can see right there. I don't know that I've ever heard of anybody hiking this trail, but clearly it sees some activity. Back there was a little bit of a low area, and people had thrown some rocks in. Not recently, but at some point. Here we can see the creek here, part of it. Crystal clear, just beautiful. So we made our way up this draw to a ton of rhododendron. You know, a little creek crossing here on this side slope. It's quite pretty, actually. Step on some of these rocks. Really nice. We're making our way into this gap. This is not a long trail, but Peter's out in this gap up here. And then we'll start our climb. And then we got a little bit of scat, probably coyote. And we got another little creek cross here, more like a stream. Something been rooting around here. It's not a real big area, so it may just be an armadillo, not a hog. Don't really want to run into a hog. Not in this kind of area, because get caught unawares. But it may fun. We got some moss on these rocks we want to be very careful about. Here we go. We're still in these thick rhododendrons too, but I think we're going to flatten out a little bit when we get to the gap. Well, we make a little bit of a bend. This goes on around, but there's a flat like area, cleared area up here, and it looks like this is where people have been going. So I want to go this way and just see if this keeps me on track with my GPS. I have a feeling it will. This is the part that's beaten out, and that over there isn't. So yeah, this looks correct to me. That's correctamundo. So when you make that chicane, it's going to pitch up. So much for it flattening out. Looks like it's going to wait till the very end to flatten out. Well, we just came up that. Now we're on the Bartram. You really don't get a relief from that climbing till here. Now, the first half mile, 3/4 is very gradual. You get a little winded starting out because, you know, you've been at the house, you just ate breakfast. But when you make that left that I was debating back there, come around and do a little S, it gets a little steep. That's why I'm a little winded. But we're here at Saltrock Gap. That goes back to Flat Top, Wilson Gap, and this goes to Rabun, which is up there. You may recall last time I was at this camp area here, I was collecting some mushrooms, which I took home and ate. There was a lot of them. And all the way up the hill here too. We got to zigzag our way out, up, and then around. And then a series of switchbacks on the back of Rabun. I've said it before walking through here that you almost feel like you're in flat woods. It's just so you don't see anything above you. We're about 4,000 feet up, roughly, somewhere between 35 and 4. And I don't know, it just feels like you're walking through some flat woods, but you're really up on top of this ridge. So this will take us across here over toward flat, I think it's Flint Gap. And we start our zigzags up Rabun. You can see some rock face over there. Camera's not going to pick it up, sadly. Maybe a little bit right there. We keep moving. That rock right there is covered with ice. I didn't have a whole lot of places to put my feet when I came across that mushy runoff. Well, there's the turn off to Flint Knob and Alex Mountain. There's the marker, Flint Gap. There we are. We got 9/10 of a mile to get up to the summit. That's what we're fitting to do. Well, we're getting some killer views on our way up these switchbacks on the back side of Rabun. Fellow just come by with a beautiful redbone hound. Thing was pretty. He didn't want nothing to do with me. He was a little skittish. Yeah, lots of little ice crystals there. My hope is approaching this from the south and west will mean more sun. There won't be too many slabs of ice or anything. Coming up from the north side, it gets pretty icy, and I left my ice spikes in the truck because I was betting that I'd have clear trail here. These zigzags take it out of you a little bit, but we're gonna make our next turn up here where Big Ridge turns off. We'll hook back around, start our primary ascent. All right, there's a turn off to Big Ridge. We keep going, and we're here. All right, got some hikers coming up behind us as we make our way up the steps. There's the money shot. Albert somewhere out there. Some doggies. All right. Heading back. All right, we're back at the turn off to Flint Knob here at Flint Gap. We're going to keep right on moving. Get down to Saltrock, make our turn off to Darnell Creek Rd. See what's happening in old Gobi, hopefully. She's just been sitting there chilling. Well, we're still making our way down off Rabun. It's warmed up a little bit. The wind isn't blowing as much, so that's giving the sun a chance to warm things up. Probably mid-30s. I treated this particular outfit with permethrin as a precaution. I'm not sure how active ticks would be right now, just because of the the temperatures and the wind chill. But on this slope here, it's fairly warm in the sun. The sun will warm things up a little bit, so you could theoretically have some that might want to come out and hitch a ride on you. Well, there's our little camp area, which means we are really close to our turn, just up the trail a little ways. There's our boundary. We keep going. All right, we're back to our turn as we leave Saltrock Gap. Hit whatever this is, Saltrock Gap Trail. Yeah, you can see right here, it's going to drop out on us right about here. It's a little steep. It's not a terribly long spot, but it is kind of steep. All right, you can see this tree came down here. It's perched here. We saw this earlier. It came under it. It looks like he's staying put, which is what mattered. I was actually surprised by the number of little streams we had coming in here too. I think we had about 6 of them like that coming off this side slope. Well, I'm hiking in some new trail runners, some ultra, I think these are Lone Peak 5.0s. Got the creek running right there. Picking up steam. We've had 7 step over stream crossings and one little seepage, you might say a spring runoff. So it's getting fed a good bit. Well, there's old Goby waiting patiently. Hopefully nobody got my 8-track to cassette adapter out of there, because I'll need that to listen to some tunes. Well, Saltrock Gap Trail up to Rabun done. It's a good little hike. That's a good little trail. It's not a lot of mileage, but you know, I've been a little sedentary lately, and haven't got out nearly as much as I should, like during the week. But I've had a couple of good walks in recently, and I kind of needed to build up. And if you're going to do a short hike, I always say do something with some climbing in it, and that definitely was. So yeah, anyway, that's done. Let's get out of here, get something to eat.